Straight ahead on 12 News, a playground just as nature intended. Then an influx of orange, and you can thank our rainy weather for it. But first, reliving a chaotic rescue in Golden Valley.
Shortly after that, I could hear a child or baby crying.
As seen through the eyes of the first responders. 12 News starts right now. Hello and thanks for joining us. Golden Valley first responders say it is a night they will never forget.
1 week ago, they rescued a child from a burning car that veered off a road and plummeted 30 feet near a creek.
Delane Cleveland met up with the responders and shares their story.
The chaotic nature of this call was one of the most chaotic scenes I've ever been on.
On the night of Tuesday, October 11th,
There was a lot very quickly. A lot of things happened.
dozens of police and firefighters converged on Golden Valley Road after a car crashed into Bassett Creek and burst into flames.
I'd say, 5 to 10 foot flames when we first got there.
Now, 1 week later, the first police and firefighters on scene are sharing their account of what happened.
When I arrived, I could see flames coming out of the creek. I couldn't see the vehicle, it was too far down the embankment.
Golden Valley officer Danny Pahokee was the first on scene.
I could hear somebody banging from inside the vehicle, whether it be on the window or the roof, I couldn't tell, and shortly after that I could hear a child or baby crying.
To reach the child, police had to navigate steep terrain, trees, and branches while firefighters worked to put out the flames.
The job is to get the fire out, and good things happen when you put the fire out. Better things happen when it's completely out.
On the way to the car, they noticed a man lying in the creek who turned out to be the boy's father.
Just floating with just his head above the water, not too coherent.
After bringing him to safety, they turned their attention to the child.
Officer Pacholke took his asp and hit the back window, and that is when the back window broke and was able to get to the child.
Climbed in through the back window and was able to unsecure him from his child's seat.
All told, the entire ordeal lasted all of 10 minutes. But the fortunate part is that it happened literally right next to a fire station.
Any more length of time to get a response there would have changed it for the driver and possibly the child due to smoke inhalation.
If ever a car crash could happen at the right place at the right time, this was it.
Location was key in this. It could have turned out a whole lot different if it would have taken a lot more time to get a fire engine there and get some water on that car.
While it could have been worse, they don't consider themselves as heroes.
We just kind of went through the motions and did our jobs.
A job well done in a chaotic situation where 2 lives were saved.
This will absolutely stick with me the rest of my life.
In Golden Valley, Delane Cleveland, 12 News.
Anyways, but
Investigators believe alcohol was a factor in the crash. Police say the 23-month-old child was released from the hospital the day after the crash. The father is still hospitalized, but his condition was recently upgraded.
There is an update on an incident that at first was called a possible abduction in Brooklyn Park. Brooklyn Park police say the man and woman struggling in this video knew each other and was the result of a domestic dispute at Hennepin Technical College. Police had sent out an alert last week asking for the public's help on the matter after a witness reported it to police. Brooklyn Park police detectives located the 2 people involved, as well as the vehicle connected to the incident. The case remains under investigation, but police are no longer seeking the public's assistance.
A new office building planned along Interstate 494 is expected to serve 2 growing companies. The Maple Grove City Council approved plans for a 2-story office building on Sycamore Lane. According to the developer, the building will serve the Maple Grove accounting firm Barton, Walter & Creer, as well as Nexus Solutions, a professional services firm in Champlin that helps school districts and other organizations address facility needs. Construction is expected to start next month.
A unique playground in Brooklyn Park is inspiring kids to experience nature. They call this the Nature Play Space. Children at ABC Pre-K spend most of their time out here. This year, the city-run daycare adopted a nature-based curriculum. The all-wood playground equipment encourages the kids to run, jump, and use their imagination.
They love it. The kids love it. We bring out toy, shovels and rakes and wheelbarrows, kid size, and they're out here playing. And they spend more time over here than on the regular playground.
The Brooklyn Park forestry crews used leftover wood pieces to make the playground. The play area is located near the community center and is open to the public. With Halloween less than 2 weeks away, people are getting ready for some tricks and treats.
Of course, that means it is pumpkin time, and there are plenty of good ones available in the Northwest Metro. Eric Nelson explains why.
On a sun-drenched October day, the Twin Cities corn maze had a postcard-like look.
Halloween's good, fall's good.
Bert Bowman's Brooklyn Park farm is chock full of autumn treats. There are plenty of choices, especially when it comes to pumpkins.
They got nothing but pumpkins here. I'm confused right now. I'm trying to find a big one. But the little ones are good. Everybody needs to decorate their house.
It's a bumper crop for Bowman this year. Thanks to a rainy summer and autumn, there are orange orbs everywhere you look.
The weather has been cooperating, especially my fields are very sandy, so the rain coming often and in larger amount than normal, it has helped the growing season.
Bowman expects to sell approximately 10,000 pumpkins between now and Halloween and has a few tips for those pursuing the perfect pumpkin.
Definitely they have to hold on the stem a little bit. They don't have to yank on the stem, make sure it's nice and solid, and feel it around, make sure there's not any soft spots, and as well, definitely no juice leaking out of them.
Bert says after a heavy rain, if you don't get these pumpkins out of the field quickly, you're going to get pumpkin rot.
We want to get them out of the field so they're in a safe place, so when we sell it, they'll be in good condition.
Of course, that is good news for pumpkin hunters. In a Brooklyn Park pumpkin patch, I'm Eric Nelson, Channel 12 News.
Coming up, why allergy sufferers may not mind a deep freeze.
That's coming up next in Health Check. But first, that deep freeze isn't coming this week. Temperatures could reach 60 on Wednesday. The calls and complaints started coming in about 2 weeks ago to local doctors.
In this week's Health Check, it's not your imagination, it is a rough allergy season. The fall season stirs up images of colorful leaves and crisp, cool weather. It also stirs up problems for those with allergies.
I get head pressure, like a headache. I'm stuffy. I do a lot of coughing.
They're classic allergy symptoms, says Dr. John Sweet at HCMC's Parkside Allergy Clinic. Right now, mold allergies are in season.
There's a lot of plant debris on the ground and it's starting to decay, and molds find that as a great environment to grow in. And so anytime there's wet rain, that helps the molds grow.
Add in some dry, windy days to stir things up, and you've got a perfect mix of allergens in the air.
The warm weather we're having and the extra rain, it's a particularly bad mold season.
So what do? Spoiler alert, raking leaves doesn't help. But if you're working outdoors, shower immediately afterwards. Allergy medications can help too. Think antihistamines and nasal sprays. And it's too late to start allergy shots this season. But if you're already getting the shots,
I don't feel as stuffed up. I can move more.
Consider upping the frequency for relief.
I always say consider the allergy medicines a way of treating the symptoms, and allergy shots is treating the cause. We can teach your body to be less allergic to these things by actually giving you tiny amounts of what you're allergic to and slowly increasing it to build the tolerance to these things.
For now, there's one big advantage to colder weather ahead. A hard freeze will kill off allergy suffering.
The plants stop pollinating, and so people do feel better.
One additional tip, keep windows closed at home right now to keep the mold allergens outside. Coming up, art to help pump you up in Plymouth.
But first, Cooper gets set to face Spring Lake Park in a matchup of prep football unbeatens. Jay Wilcox has that and more next in sports. Well, if you have an unbeaten football team at this point in the season, you're doing pretty well. So this should be a fun game coming up.
That's right. Even just getting to October is pretty good. Right. Now we're down to the last game of the season. The final games of the regular season in prep football are Wednesday night. Cooper hosts Spring Lake Park in a great matchup of unbeaten teams. We visited the Hawks. Cooper's become a consistent winner, but after graduating some very good players from last year's team, a 7-0 start may not have been expected by most. But the guys within the program saw the commitment to succeed.
We just practiced very hard during the summer and no surprise at all.
When we say surprise, no, only because, at the beginning I felt like our leadership was the best we've ever had, and that was a product of the seniors from last year that left, how they left a legacy of here's the expectation as we move forward to be a leader on this team, to be a captain. The Hawks had a strong offensive line returning, and with a good group of receivers and an emerging quarterback in Cameron King, they've averaged 34 points per game. And then when you had so many people returning on the O-line, the wide receivers, quarterback was the question when you got Cameron King playing at a high level. Yeah, he's making some mistakes, but he's playing at the high level. This is what we knew we were having because of how hard of a summer we worked. One thing that's made the Hawks a more consistent team, focusing on the task at hand each and every week.
But this year's slogan is go 1-0. So we've just taken it 1 week at a time to focus on just this week and don't look, past teams. Stick with the team that we're playing this week.
While Cooper's accomplished a lot in recent seasons, beating Spring Lake Park has been an elusive goal. They hope to change that Wednesday night.
It's a very big game. We're prepared for it in practice. We're practicing very hard, and I think we'll be ready.
They're a great team, so we have to prepare a lot for them, but it should be a fun game.
They're going to give you everything they got. They're going to be in all fours offensive line. They're going to drop to the tight end. They're going to do the things that Spring Lake Park does. And now the expectation is that this year with the different team, we go out there and we execute the little things. A sub-district title and home field advantage for the Section 5 5A playoffs is at stake. Cooper's ready for the challenge.
Let's Gordon.
It's senior night at Cooper Wednesday night. Kickoff for the Hawks and Panthers is set for 7 o'clock. In addition to Cooper and Spring Lake Park, it's a full slate of games Wednesday in the area. Also in the Suburban Red, Armstrong hosts Benilde. Park Center is at Irondale. Our TV game is Osseo hosting Blaine. Maple Grove travels to Shakopee. Wayzata hosts Eden Prairie. Hopkins is at home against Prior Lake. Champlin Park hosts Standover, and Totino Grace takes on Coon Rapids. Providence Academy plays SMB at Blake. Breck is at Henry. Brooklyn Center faces Spectrum in an afternoon game, and West Lutheran meets Mabel Canton. That's at Brooklyn Center. Wayzata's girls soccer team plays for a section championship Tuesday night. One of the Trojans' top players is forward Morgan Turner. Jason Malolo profiles the senior on this week's Sports Jam show on Channel 12, and here's a clip from that story.
I think she's a very attacking-minded player, so I think she sees the ball like when it needs to go forward, when we have to cut back and serve it in, and she's always there at the end of the crosses, and I think she is one of those players that can read the game ahead of everyone else.
Turner was good enough to make the Trojan varsity as a freshman, but she wasn't just filling a roster spot. Turner racked up 10 goals in her first season of varsity soccer and has improved every year since.
All the other players on the team helped me feel comfortable, and they really made it a lot of fun for me, so I think that helped a lot. And yeah, I just really enjoyed my freshman year, especially. My team has helped me so much to improve, and both on my club teams and my high school teams have really pushed me to be a better player and to work hard.
You can see the rest of the Morgan Turner story, plus plenty of prep highlights on this week's Sports Jam. It airs through Wednesday at 3:30, 6:30, and 9:30 p.m. on Channel 12 and our HD channel 799. We'll have highlights from Section Soccer Wednesday starting at 4 here on 12 News. Also, congratulations to Samantha Stevenson and Sydney Stern from Wayzata. They win the Section 5AA doubles title.
All right, great. Thanks a lot.
You're welcome.
Now to Local Vote 2016 as we continue to hear from the candidates running for 2 positions on the Maple Grove City Council.
2 of the 6 candidates running include Christy Barnett and Sherry Marie Johnson. Johnson ran for a state representative position in 2000 and has run for City Council 3 previous times. Barnett is a communications consultant and high school debate coach.
My name is Christy Barnett, and I'm running for the Maple Grove City Council.
I believe our city is a wonderful place to live, work, play, and raise families. I want to actively participate in encouraging the private sector to come and stay in Maple Grove, maintain proper resources for first responders, improve our lake's water quality, and bring my common sense approach to making government efficient. You can be confident in your vote for me this November with the knowledge that I have the experience needed to lead our city. I currently serve as the Vice President of the Weaver Lake Conservation Association, am a small business owner, the debate coach at Park Center High School, and a member of the Junior League of Minneapolis and the North Hennepin Area Chamber of Commerce. On November 8th, vote for the right priorities. Vote for me, Christy Barnett. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Sherry Marie Johnson, a Maple Grove Council candidate. I'm seeking your vote on November 8th because I value the quality of life in Maple Grove and will work for you, the residents of Maple Grove, for a community-based government that is responsive to your concerns. I have lived and worked in Maple Grove for 25 years with my family. I worked with my neighbors in City Hall successfully to promote open space and woodland areas to preserve beauty and wildlife in Maple Grove. I will promote a safe community and work toward building strong community and business relationships. Thank you for your consideration for a vote for Sherry Marie Johnson on November 8th.
And on Wednesday, one more candidate running for the Maple Grove Council. Still ahead, Plymouth's first of its kind pump track is already a unique attraction. Now there is art to go with it.
Meet the student behind the mural when we come back.
Well, finally, a student in Golden Valley brings an artistic touch to a popular new attraction in Plymouth.
Amy Mason, a senior at Perpich Center for Arts Education, painted a mural for the city of Plymouth's new pump track used by bicyclists and skateboarders. Mason received a $560 stipend for her painting of a giant red bicycle, which has a Minnesota theme. In the spokes of the bike are a Minneapolis skyscraper, state capitol, and Plymouth city logo.
Having bike imagery, since that's what it's for, was fairly important, and then also having imagery that people could relate to living in Minnesota. And I thought that was important having it on there because it's the first one in Minnesota, so I thought having it centered around our state itself was an important factor.
Mason spent most of the summer working on the painting. I would say that's a pretty good summer job to be commissioned for that kind of artwork.
For someone in high school,
yes.
That's pretty good work.
Pretty good start. That does it for us. Thanks so much for joining us.
And we will see you back here again Wednesday starting at 4.